It's got coasters.
You know, you recognize. Wow.
Hey,
We're here.
We're back.
We're back. We're
back.
here. We're live in Montreal. We're live in our studio, in our brand new studio. In the studio.
New studio. Who this?
Who
right?
dat?
Who that palette?
That is a palette. That is also a coffee table.
It's got coasters.
You know, you recognize this, but also not a picture frame. That is actually a video screen. We're not going to make use of it today because we literally just got it installed. Streams in the future. We're going to be having a lot of fun with a lot of these. They look like static picture frames, but really excited for us to have this as a resource here in our own studio in Montreal so we can do more stuff here, including videos that you do all the time, interviews, whatever. So yes, hello, welcome. There are a lot of you out there. Thank you for joining us. This is actually our second live stream of the month of May. Earlier, we were at PAX East in Boston, where also a bunch of people showed up in person, which was an incredible delight to meet so many people I only knew as online names, and to ham it up in front of a live audience was pretty fun. So we just wanted to say thank you for that. That you know, was our first big live event in a long time, and y'all showed up. So hopefully that means we can do more. And the only negative of that event, we were not joined by Dork.
Yes.
Due to visa issues.
Yeah, it was really sad to be watching from the sidelines, but the hype in that room was electric. So, like, even being at home, just rooting you guys, that was just amazing. So I truly hope that maybe in the future I'll be able to meet you guys in person. But for now, let's get into today's live stream, which we're talking about part 2 of our anniversary live stream with the Dead by Daylight Five Nights at Freddy's official live stream. And today, especially at PAX, you guys got a little taste about what was coming with this chapter, but now we're going to be talking about the map, the new gameplay, and the anniversary event, which is right around the corner.
We just gave them an app, and now they're getting the full pizza.
Yeah, the new full pizza.
So if you are new to Dead by Daylight, which I suspect some of you are, there are a lot of people here. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Hello, camera 2. If you're new to Dead by Daylight, I just want to quickly explain what's going on today. We're doing our stream, obviously, and generally we try to do these when we have either a release of the full chapter or, as is the case today, a PTB. If you don't know what PTB is, public test battle, who flipping knows? What it is a test tool for us on the development team. Truly, it's a chance for us to get the build out early, find some rough edges, anything that might not be working, and get it up to gear, up to snuff for the full release, which is coming on June 17th. So I just wanted to set the stage for you in case you didn't know what PTB is, because we'll mention it a few times, but that is planned to go live as soon as we wrap up the show here today, if we time it perfectly. So stay tuned. All right, so Five Nights at Freddy's is our most requested chapter of all time. You have wanted this for a long time. FNAF fans have wanted it for a long time. DVD fans have wanted it for a long time. I have wanted it for a long time. Now it's actually happening. So let's not delay any longer. We'll show you what's coming in the show today with the run of show. So we're going to kick things off with a segment that you've been waiting for, Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay, playing as Springtrap. And helping us out, we're going to have Jason Guzzo back with us to talk about Springtrap's gameplay, but also the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza map.
Yes, and then next I'll be joined on the couch with Justin Banks, who's going to break down this year's anniversary event and show us everything's going to be happening for this last Twisted Masquerade. Then we'll have a new face on the couch, which is going to be Hollis from the product team, who's going to be running through the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog here in a couple of months. And then after that, Eric and I will be back on the couch to talk about the Dead by Daylight Creator Program, which I know a lot of our content creators out there are at the edge of their seats waiting to hear news about, so stay tuned.
And we also have another thing thing to share with you that is new. Maybe you saw it in your news yesterday in the game. Little spoiler. We're going to be talking about the extremely cool new Dead by Daylight stats tracker that's coming up. We're going to be able to look at your in-game stats and progress as you play, which is really neat.
Yes, I cannot wait to see how many times I've died. After that, well, obviously, it's going to be, wouldn't be a Dead by Daylight live stream without having some Twitch drops. And we're going to have 3 amazing Twitch drops for players to go ahead and redeem on Twitch. So make sure you're looking at the Twitch chat or looking at the QR code to go ahead and make sure you're linking your behavior account so that you're not missing it. It starts today up until June 10th, but maybe, Eric, you want to tell us what we're going to get?
I do, although I don't know that it matches what's in the image. So we have 3 drops for you, but actually the first drop is a combo. You're going to get blood points as well as the smiling clown badge. Sorry, I don't. What I have written down versus what's in that image are not the same thing. So we're going to learn together what we get. Smiling clown badge, 200,000 blood points bundled together for watching 1 hour. A clown den banner for watching 3 hours, and a pin the tail on the Maurice charm for anyone who accumulates 6 hours of watch time. Oh, Maurice, how I miss thee.
I miss him. I have to do my little head pats at the map.
I know. I hope he returns to us soon. Before we dive in, one last thing we did want to mention if you've been around for a few weeks. We're running a charity program at the moment, which I've been so psyched about, tied to Aurella's release, and it has already, well, it's finished, but it has over $200,000.
Oh my God.
And that's before the multiplier that we're still calculating right now. So thank you to everyone who contributed to that charity. It's going to a really great cause, the Saint Justine Foundation here in Montreal, to help kids and their moms. So thank you, thank you. We'll announce the final number when we have it from the numbers people, but it is well over $200,000, so crazy.
That's a lot of money.
Okay, without further ado, let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's, playing a Springtrap, and bring out our dear friend Jay Guzzo, the killer's designer. Whoa! I was waiting for Jay to tell us when we're ready, but we're live. See, we told you it's live. You didn't believe us. Okay, so hi, Jay.
Hi.
So from the time that we announced that Five Nights at Freddy's was coming to Dead by Daylight, obviously the excitement has been off the charts for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, for DBD fans, for myself, maybe you, and you know, people are speculating. Who's the killer going to be? Are we going to get a map, et cetera, et cetera? We answered those things in a high-level way at PAX a few weeks ago. Indeed, we will have a killer, Springtrap, for the first time ever, you get to play as Springtrap instead of be terrorized by Springtrap. Well, if you're a survivor, you'll still be terrorized. And also, we'll be bringing in a new map. So Jay has come here to join us. And if you have watched streams before, you would know Jay from such hits as Chucky and also Dracula. Jay is the killer designer on both of those, as well as Springtrap. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm also excited for you to be here,
Oh.
Jay. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned, you worked on some pretty iconic licenses already. So when you were assigned Five Nights at Freddy's, what was it like when you first started working on that chapter?
It was really interesting. I didn't have a lot of experience with it. Excuse me, my throats are a little dry today. I was obviously aware of it. I mean, everybody is. It's become so iconic in such a short period of time. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't really realize how kind of deep the lore and the story went before I started kind of looking into this chapter. So it's been cool, and like the story is way more horrifying than I ever thought it would be, to be honest.
Oh yes, despite how cute it is, very horrifying. And actually, I think that's a very initial common ground DBD fans and FNAF fans will have. Deep lore on both games, much more than you'd expect. And once you dig in, it's really cool stuff, and it goes, like you said, it goes places.
Yeah.
So I guess the way you mentioned it, sounds like you had to do a lot of research to get up to speed.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite things about doing licenses like this is they give me an excuse, I guess, a reason to become like a real big nerd about one specific franchise or IP, and that's always amazing. You know, Chucky, I got to watch all the movies, and Dracula, we played the games and watched stuff. So this one, I did the same thing. I jumped in. My main thing was YouTube and Twitch, watching streams. I watched 60 to 70 hours of content of some of the more popular streamers, I guess we can say. All through all the games, including the VR stuff and things, not just to see the games and how they played, but also the players, how they react, the community, how they react, getting the inspiration for the experience of FNAF and Five Nights at Freddy's, excuse me.
I think that's a really special thing. You didn't just tackle it from a mechanics point of view. You wanted to understand the community. You wanted to understand the players, make them feel as welcome in DBD as possible. Dead by Daylight, sorry. No, we're going to be doing this a lot. It's just quicker to use acronyms. So I think that's a great touch. So any surprises you found along the way as you were doing that?
I mean, this won't be a surprise to most people, but it was to me, was, like I said, just how passionate the community is. They're like you said, it's very similar to DBD in that respect of like very passionate fans and very passionate community. People who they watch the trailers and they watch gameplay and they pixel peep.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of start stringing things together, and I imagine there's at least a few Five Nights fans with like the boards with pictures and the string all over them.
Yes, which Jay, you're kind of famous for with Dracula. Hand drew some meme-worthy art, so maybe we'll have some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably picking apart our outfits as we speak. Like, what does it mean? I just wanted people to see my cool new mint-colored shoes. That's all.
I just wanted people to see. I don't know if I can show it. My daughter bought me Freddy Fazbear socks for Christmas.
Got Freddy on the feet. Yeah. Likewise, my son gave me his Freddy plush for good luck today. So we are loving it over here. So before we jump into the gameplay, why don't you tell us about how you started to approach the design of Springtrap?
Yeah, it was a really interesting one because obviously, if you know both games, gameplay-wise, they're pretty diametrically opposed. Five Nights at Freddy's is really about sitting still. You manage resources, particularly the battery, and try not to get killed. Whereas DBD is all about moving around, doing the gens. If you sit still, you're gonna get yourself
not
killed.
A good strategy.
It's not a great idea. So it really became about kind of nailing down what the quintessential Five Nights at Freddy's experience is. Things like the security office, the battery power, all those amazing jump scares, and just kind of figuring out how to adapt that into the context of DBD.
Perfect. So with that transition, let's get into Springtrap specifically and his gameplay.
Yeah. So one of the goals for Springtrap was to figure out how to lean into those jump scares, which are kind of the thing about the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right? Without making him just a straight up stealth killer, which was something we wanted to avoid. So I had this idea of doing something that we'd never really tried before, where we focus Springtrap kind of as a grab-based killer, because we have grabs in DBD. They are inherently jump scares into themselves. It's right there. So we just kind of leaned into that and gave him more of those opportunities.
There he is right there on screen.
There he is, yeah.
I think we even have another one of him doing a little bit of a grab.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we gave him a pretty unique projectile, which is really cool. So Springtrap has 2 weapons. I get to finally announce. I know the community have been talking about it. So he has a large pizza knife as his main weapon, and a heavy fire axe as his power.
Oh, the fire axe. So let's talk about the axe. How do you use the axe? How's it different from projectiles that other characters in Dead by Daylight use?
Yeah, so it's a very unique. It's not going to play like any other projectile killer that you've tried before. We wanted to do something a little bit interesting with it. So if you throw the axe and it hits something in the environment, whether it's a missed shot or it's deliberate, it creates an AoE that lasts about 15 seconds. And if a survivor walks through it, you get killer instinct on them for a short period of time. If you hit a survivor with it, kind of gets lodged in their back while you're chasing.
Kind of have an axe lodged in your back.
Just a little bit. So they can remove it manually, or they can do it quicker in co-op with another survivor. As Springtrap, you can also retrieve it yourself. If you get in close, you can skip kind of the steps of downing the survivor and picking them up. You get in close to a survivor that has the axe embedded in them. You click the button, you grab the axe and the survivor at the same time. Ooh. You get a cool little jump scare, and then you're carrying them on your shoulder. A couple of little notes. One of them is while you have your projectile available, you move at 4.4 meters per second. There he is.
There's a little glimpse of some jump scare action.
But once you've thrown the axe, you actually move at 4.6 meters per second. It's something that we've never really done base kit for a killer. It makes for some really interesting tactical choices, meaning that you have to recall the axe manually. It never comes back to you automatically unless you throw it out of the map, because you can make a mistake. But yeah, as long as it's in the environment or in a survivor or whatever it is, you have to manually recall it.
So it lightens his load a little bit, makes him a bit faster.
Exactly.
Perfect. So that brings us to another unique part of his gameplay, and I think super iconic to Five Nights at Freddy's, the security office. So let's get into that.
Yeah. So it was really important for us to give the killer and the survivor a really kind of interesting shared experience in that space, which allowed us to also lean into the jump scares. And some of the ways we came up with was to introduce a security office, which is part of any trial that Springtrap is the killer. It's part of his power, but it acts as kind of a transitionary space. So we have 7 doors that appear randomly around the map at chest spawns, and these can be used by survivors or killers to teleport around the map.
Yeah, there be a door.
There it is. And survivors can also use them for surveillance. So as a survivor, you interact with the door. It brings up the camera view. You'll get the kind of iconic map view in the bottom right of all the different cameras. On the bottom left, you'll see your battery power, which we'll talk about in a second. You can see what's going on in the other doors. You can switch between doors. If you see something that, if it looks safe on the other end, you press the button, your character goes into the security office, and then it's kind of like a hands-off, almost like a theme park experience where you see this first-person view going through the office, which is really cool.
And one thing you mentioned, again, just in case we have new folks playing, regardless of what map you're playing on, this functionality, the security room will be there as long as Springtrap is the killer in the match.
Yeah, exactly. And as a survivor, if you happen to see Springtrap through a camera, if you train your camera on him for a few seconds, he'll be revealed for a little bit for the whole survivor team.
And what about if, what if Springtrap goes in at the same time as a survivor goes in at a different door and they meet?
Yeah, so since they can both use the doors in the security office, we wanted to make sure that there was an opportunity for that interaction. So if a survivor is moving through that space from one door to the other, and Springtrap, excuse me, chooses one of those 2 doors, whether the one they're coming from or the one they're going to, he'll interrupt them in the security office for a fun little surprise.
Ooh. Awesome. I love all the little touches that the team has planted in there like that. I think the fans are really going to love it, including this. You mentioned the battery. Managing the battery is part of this as well. So how's that work in DBD?
Yeah, so survivors share a universal battery. It's shared amongst all of them. It drains a little bit, kind of ticks down per second while you're using the cameras. We didn't want players to just be the man in the chair and just sitting there and telling all their friends. So it drains a little bit, using the teleporter to move around the map, takes off a big old chunk in one shot, and then you have to kind of manage that battery as a team. It slowly recharges on its own over time, but you have to kind of manage when and where you're using it. If the battery does run out, the security system, which is kind of the doors, the cameras, the office, goes into shutdown mode for 45 seconds. But Springtrap is not affected by the battery. So if the survivors have kind of overplayed their hand and they shut the security office down, they've kind of given up their one bit of power in this chapter, and Springtrap can still use the doors and bounce around.
Oh,
and do whatever he
dangerous.
wants.
Dangerous. Fantastic. But what about disabling the doors?
Yes. So to go back to the axe, if the killer hits either a camera or a door, the whole thing, with their axe, that door and the camera becomes unavailable to survivors. They can't use it to teleport away, they can't teleport to that door, and they can't see through the camera that's been disabled.
Got it.
When the killer retrieves it, that effect lingers a little bit. It becomes a really cool way of like, I need to scope this area out, but I don't want to be revealed or seen. You can disable the door, move around, use it to fake the survivors out.
Got it. But it's not permanent. The door can be used again after the axe has been retrieved. Cool.
Unless it's in shutdown, which means the survivors can't use it anyway.
Right. Cool. Okay. So speaking about moving around the map, which it sounds like we have a new exciting way to do that. One of the coolest things about the chapter, in fact, is the map. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is now a new map, a new level within Dead by Daylight for DBD fans, specifically in the Withered Isle realm. So what can you tell us about the map?
Yeah, so the art team and the level design team, much like me, they did a ton of research. And like, I don't say this just because we're doing the stream here, but it's becoming one of my favorite maps. I love it so much. In the same way that we worked hard at kind of integrating a lot of opportunities for jump scares into the killer gameplay, their team really wanted to make sure that they did the same when it comes to things like Easter eggs and scares around the map. So it really pays off if you're kind of an exploratory player a little bit.
Amazing. So are there some areas that you want to shout out that Five Nights at Freddy's fans might recognize?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot. You'll see a lot of small references and stuff, but obviously we've recreated a lot of kind of the iconic areas from the game. But we're also letting you exit the pizzeria to explore the outside a little bit, which is really cool. And we wanted to kind of add a little bit more space to allow for more dynamic chases and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for the rooms, we've got the lobby, we've got the dining hall, of course, with the full animatronic band on stage. It's very cool. And we have the arcade, which is, it's all very kind of creepily decorated like a birthday party. And, we have areas like the kitchen and even the mechanical room, which is cool. And
we can see a little glimpse right there, too.
Yeah, so altogether, this should kind of feel like I guess a formerly working pizzeria. Yes. And, of course, since it's Dead by Daylight, the entity's weird pustules and deformations are everywhere to remind you exactly of where you still are. And
you're making a judgment call on those pustules there, Jay.
But if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I think you're really going to love the map. They've done a lot of really cool work.
Yeah, it's super fun. And it looks really good, too. The art team did knock it out of the park. But also with Springtrap wandering around, it's like a terror. And I think for Five Nights at Freddy's fans, like, whoop, you're going to be in familiar territory.
Yeah.
So one other nice thing that we did mention on the PAX broadcast, but I do want to mention it again, we're going to have a separate queue for this map specifically, which means you want to go to the game and you just want to check out the map. Normally, in the past, you'd be in the general rotation of maps and all that. Now you can go straight in just to the pizzeria without having to hope that you get there. So it's going to be its own queue when you join the game.
Yeah, and that's a feature that's going forward with any chapter with a new map.
Perfect.
We'll have a unique queue for that new map, which is really cool.
Perfect. Okay, how about some last tips for survivors and for killer players?
Yeah, so for the killer, as Springtrap, get used to the arc of the projectile. As I said, it's super unique compared to other projectile killers. We've done something that really allows you to kind of pull off some pretty gnarly trick shots. We've seen some really interesting ones on our internal playtest. It's been super fun. So test that out, get used to it, and take advantage of the jump scares.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you're playing with your friends, hearing them shout in your ear is always a great time.
Yes.
But for survivors, take advantage of the cameras and the doors. It may seem a little unsafe because you can be interrupted or whatever, but they're really valuable tools if you get used to them and you use it to reveal the killer and kind of scoping out the area. You'll get more of an advantage out of them than I think you realize at first.
Heck yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Jay, thank you so much, as
Thank you.
always, for joining us on the couch with your wonderful work and the fun stuff that you've planted in there. Soon enough, people will get to play around with it. I know you're
Yeah.
going to be glued to your Twitch screen so you can watch
yes.
people play it and test it out. Thank you so much for joining us. The show must roll on. So next, we're going to bring out our friend Justin Banks to fill you in on DBD's anniversary event that's right around the corner.
Bye, everybody.
On the anniversary event and the Twisted Masquerade. It's so sad to hear that it's going to be going soon, but we're going to keep it together.
It's going to go out with a bang.
At least we have that, right? At least we have that. All right, so next up, joining me on the couch is going to be a new face to the stream. So please join me in the chat with a warm welcome for Hollis, who's going to be giving us a full rundown on the latest collections that'll be rolling into the fog. Okay, it is upcoming collections time, and you know I love talking about collections, and here with me to talk about them is a new face, our senior live specialist, operations specialist, Hollis, to give us the full rundown on everything that's going to be coming to the Dead by Daylight in-game store in the next couple of months. So welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
So Hollis, how about you go ahead and give us a rundown about your role real quick?
Yeah, so my day-to-day consists mostly of scheduling and setting things up for the in-game store. So stuff you would see like the collection banners, featured outfits, the bundles, weekly gifts, sales, stuff like that. I've also worked on a few of the collections you guys may have seen in the store. So Autumn Fashion, Chrysalis, Noir, Horrors from the Deep, and the Forgotten Myth collection. And on that note, speaking of content creation, I am sort of moving further in that direction as I'll be the person heading up charms and player cards going forward.
Okay. Speaking of player cards, that was actually one thing we missed to talk about in our last segment. I was just sitting down with Justin, where we're going to have badges and banners coming in as other things in the event. I'm super excited. But also, thank you for the Chrysalis collection. Oh my God, I'm a huge Chrysalis fan. But with all of that said, like I said, I just sat down with Justin and they gave us a full rundown about the Twisted Masquerade when it comes to in-game earnables, but what can you tell us about what's going to happen store side?
Yeah, so just to mention we have some really cool exclusive event rewards. We also have some exclusive store rewards for Twisted Masquerade.
Okay.
This time around we have some outfits for the Lich Vecna, who's wearing his Masquerade Lich outfit, as well as Baemar, who is wearing his Masquerade musician outfit. And man, I wish I could grow a mustache like that.
It's magnificent.
Oh, it's beautiful. Plus, as always, all the masks and outfits from previous years will also be returning to the store. You'll even be able to find a few select masks and bundles for Killer and Survivor. And for anyone who may have missed Twisted Masquerade last year, we'll also have a bundle with rewards from that. So the Unknown outfit, the player cards, and the charms. And all that will be available in the store on June 25th with the start of the event.
Okay, so is there going to be any like fantastic sales happening as well?
There might be. So we're going to be doing 30% off almost everything in the store for outfits released before the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter.
Okay.
On top of that, we'll be doing 25 to 50% off almost all the characters. And as Justin mentioned, if you find a character you like during the free trials, it's a great time to pick them up and add them to your roster.
Okay. All right. So, and as obviously, we kind of touched on it. Brace yourself. This is a bit emotional. But after this, the party will be over. It'll be our. I know. Let's keep it together.
Tricks, don't leave me.
Let's keep it together. But we're going to be okay because before we close the curtain, we've got other things happening right before, right?
That's correct. On June 17th, we have our highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's chapter releasing, and along with it, the Five Nights at Freddy's collection. Now, as you know, Dave and Matt already revealed one of the outfits at PAX, but we got a few more to show off today that no one's seen quite yet.
Okay.
But in case you did miss PAX, first of all, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Second of all, you would have saw that we revealed our Yellow Rabbit legendary outfit for our new killer, Springtrap. This is an incredible outfit from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that features the likeness of Matthew Lillard, who played William Afton on screen before the Springlock accident that really turns him into Springtrap. Now, this outfit has original voiceover from Matthew Lillard that was recorded just for Dead by Daylight, as well as some special voiceover and animations in the lobby.
Okay, I cannot wait to get my hands on that. But are there going to be other versions of Springtrap coming into the fog as well?
There is. We also have a Glitch Trap, a legendary outfit for Springtrap. Now, Glitch Trap first appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted and its sequel, Help Wanted 2, where he played a very crucial role in the story. So it's amazing to have him as part of this collection. And as an added bonus, for both legendary outfits, when you unlock them, you'll receive a portrait badge of those characters as well. So a Glitch Trap portrait badge for Glitch Trap, and a Yellow Rabbit portrait with Matthew Lillard's likeness when you buy that as well. We also have two very rare outfits for Springtrap, which are both taken from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, the mobile AR game, which are Clown Springtrap and Toxic Springtrap. Now, Clown Springtrap is pulled pretty much straight from the game, looking just like fans will remember him, but we put our own twist on Toxic Springtrap to really make him our own. But that's not all. For the survivors out there who want to show their love for FNAF, there will be Freddy Fazbear's t-shirts available for all original survivors. You can buy them individually or bundled together at a discount.
That's going to be great. I mean, I love like the shirts especially because it gives them this nice, cool, casual look. And I think because of that, it's why I love the next collection you're going to be talking about.
Casual is a great way to describe it because this outfit, this collection is simply called the Casual Collection. And as the name implies, it focuses on streetwear and casual clothing, letting us add more variety to characters who've kind of been stuck with one look in the past. So, for example, a guy like Gabriel, who's often portrayed in space-themed outfits, we finally gave him something more casual to show a different side of his character.
Looks so good.
He's a handsome man, isn't he?
Handsome man.
Handsome. On top of Gabriel, we also have outfits for Tori, who will be taking a break from her cult robes.
That looks so good.
One I know you're very excited about, which is Talita, who is getting some pants and escaping her shorts and skirt purgatory that she was in for a bit there.
Talita mentioned, yes, pants!
Thank you, Eric. We love pants.
Pants!
Chat, spam pants emotes.
Yeah.
I don't know if those exist. And finally, we have an outfit for Hattie as well. And this collection will be hitting the store on July 2nd, right at the start of summer.
I cannot wait. Obviously, I'm very excited for pants.
Pants.
Pants. But with that, I mean, especially because like with the pants, I get to be nice and comfortable while I'm hanging on the hook. I mean, I'm gonna be there anyway, so I might as well be comfortable, right?
It'd also be awkward if you were on the hook with no pants.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad, Hollis. But we also want the killers to be nice and comfortable as well while they're slaying and putting people on hooks, which reminds me why we're bringing up the Boulet Brothers collection, which will be joining the fog on July 8th, coming in with a very rare for the Huntress and a legendary for the Artist.
That's right. And since the Artist outfit is a legendary outfit inspired by the Boulet Brothers themselves, buying that one will get you an exclusive Boulet Brothers themed portrait badge.
Yes, can't. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to get my hands on that.
Sneak preview.
Sneak. Well, I mean, this is the best segue because we're going to be talking about a fan favorite returning.
Yes, that is right. The Waterfront Massacre Collection is back. And for anyone out there who doesn't know what the Waterfront Massacre Collection is basically Day at the Beach gone terribly, horribly wrong for our characters. This time around, we have outfits for Elodie, Orella, Ace, and the Xenomorph. So Elodie and Arella are both getting some sun and nice beach wear we thought each of them would enjoy. And then there's Ace, who is doing the same, but in a more classic Ace fashion. And his outfit is something special.
It's very special.
He's rocking a leopard print Speedo and what seems to be a very short robe. And don't worry, to all the people out there, I can hear you typing in chat. I can confirm this outfit is mix and match. So you can go ahead and make those Speedos a part of whatever outfit you like. If you want to put it with the top hat from the Alice in Wonderland collection, you can. And we're not going to stop you. That's called fashion. Finally, we worked closely with 20th Century Games on our take of an aquatic xenomorph. It's inspired by kind of an anglerfish look, and we're really happy with how it turned out. It's very creepy, very cool, and honestly, would not want to run into that while swimming.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And you can expect the Waterfront Massacre Collection, as well as Ace's Speedo, to be available in the store on July 16th.
I already know a very distinct group of people that were playing nothing but Ace Visconti during 2v8, and they're going to be wearing the hell out of that Speedo.
Yeah, so these collections, we have Pants Gang and No Pants Gang now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, choose your size. But thank you so much for joining me on the couch to talk about all the latest collections that'll be coming into the fog. I'm super excited, and it was great to have you, Hollis.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
It was so much fun. So next, I'm going to be on the couch here with Eric for all of our Dead by Daylight creators out there to talk about the Creator Program. So stay tuned.